Town beautiful. How can so many people fit in the back seats of that car? Sabrina freezes time to obnoxiously talk to the audience. She says they're happy because they're gonna clean up Riverdale for a contest. Why did she have to pointlessly ask the audience to join them when they can't? We see a biker gang talk with cringe-worthy cartoon voices. And Archie sees an alley full of graffiti. Sabrina thinks that she wishes she could use magic to help, but it wouldn't be fair. What she should have said is, she'd get caught. Cause that never stopped her. Reggie says he's allergic to help and wants to wait here. Then why is he here? And Hot Dog's told to come on and bothers Reggie. It's so good of the Archie gang to do something good like this. Usually half of them are just jerks. Sabrina uses magic when she knew it wouldn't be fair earlier. Reggie gets carried by the legs while a trash can is on him, and the Archie gang drives away. The biker gang heads towards the alley, and is angry that the Archie gang cleaned the alley walls and erased their games of tic-tac-toe when they could have easily played it without doing so on the walls. This enforces a negative stereotype about bikers. Veronica cleans statues at a park with soap. I felt bad for Jughead because he got soap in his eyes. Then the story skips past showing them cleaning another place. And the biker gang spies on them and calls them the Goody Goody Archie group. Since when are they known as Goody Goodies? Veronica and Reggie are jerks. The bikers put a trash can over one of them. Sabrina talks out loud about how using magic is okay, and somehow nobody reacts. She uses magic to make a biker kick the other one. Somehow she doesn't keep the spell on him and have him kick him again. It gives him the chance to say he doesn't know why that happened. She has a storm cloud cover them in soot harmlessly. She warps to a statue of a general. Some biker wants to mix up the paint. How can he see past his hair? That design's stupid. She uses magic so that the statue pours paint on the biker, and he blames the guy near him and puts a paint can over his own head. It'd be terrible to get paint on your face. Somehow, the guys take forever to get freaked out when a statue picks them both up and talks. One of them says that he's only a statue at first. They run away in fear, and then Sabrina floats them over to a statue and makes it smack them. Sabrina then brainwashes the bikers into obediently driving while she's riding on the bike with them, after she tells them that they said they would clean up the town. Archie's gang sees that the alley they cleaned up earlier is a mess, which upsets the guys in the vehicle. Sabrina freezes time, and the bikers think they're responsible, and Hot Dog uses his tail to clean the alley walls. I guess that's Sabrina's magic. Veronica thinks it was just an illusion that the alleys were dirty again. What should have been written is that Sabrina should have erased their memories of seeing the alley looking dirty. Riverdale wins an award, and Archie says they're sure seeing an unsightly sight now because Jughead says he's seeing the bikers. Reggie worries about them losing their award as a guy holds a trophy and tells the governor, "Here's your award back." They ask how Sabrina got the bikers to be helpful, and the story ends. This story is about Sabrina cleaning up the town with the Archie gang for a contest. And the show reinforces the negative stereotype about bikers by having some bikers get mad because their alley got cleaned up of graffiti, ruining their games of tic-tac-toe. So Sabrina uses magic to keep them from being a problem, taking way too long to simply brainwash them into being good, which she does at some point. But since witches are pressured to be evil, it makes sense that she thought of abusing her magic on them first. That was the obvious idea right away because she had bullies to punish. I'm glad Sabrina's getting away with being good for so long. Horse's mouth. Sabrina at Pop Tate's shop says to the audience that sometimes being a teen witch leads to lots of trouble. Freddy asks what's wrong with the guy with a horse near him. He says he'll have to put Rocky up to pasture because of something the mayor signed into law, and he'll be out of business. So Archie wants to help him. They go to City Hall, but they're told to leave. The mayor says that the Archie characters were able to persuade him to do other things for some reason, but when it comes to city ordinances, it's hopeless. Sabrina can somehow understand the horse before she uses magic to make him able to talk. She somehow doesn't immediately get that the horse talking will just scare the mayor. She rides the horse carriage, and the horse being able to talk gives the horse feeling of power he never had before. The horse confuses the cop in front of him, and the cop crashes. So Sabrina does that with magic, but doesn't erase his memory for some reason. The horse tells the mayor to resign for picking on horses. He says he's been working too hard and it's going out for golf. Sabrina tells the horse to be more diplomatic. It's moral of her to not simply brainwash the mayor into changing his mind, but he's just being freaked out as a result. The horse's voice really sucks. The horse gives the mayor advice on how to golf, and even Sabrina knows he has no knowledge of it. The mayor somehow gets tied up by his own club and runs away in fear. The horse says he was just trying to be diplomatic. The horse was trying to massage him, so he runs away in fear. We see Moose replacing the horse, pulling the wagon for Archie and his friends, when I thought he was just the bully who's mean to Reggie for flirting with Midge. And yet Moose somehow puts up with being whipped. I guess he's now super helpful. Reggie shows Archie's gang that Sabrina's telling the horse that she gave him the power to talk so he could help out. They outright comment on it, and the horse tells Reggie to not rush the girl. Conveniently, Jughead says she's a ventriloquist when she was about to confess the truth. People would be smarter than this because the horse is moving his mouth, and he'd be too dumb to know to move his mouth. I wish it was written that Sabrina used magic so that they'd believe this instead of Jughead somehow coming up with that. Sabrina puts on a ventriloquist act with a horse, as I'm wondering why anyone can stand the horse's voice. He cries as he's in a circle and asks what will become of his own master. Someone's watching this on TV. I was feeling sorry for the horse because he was sounding sad. But then he gets mad and tells the audience to write their congressman. The mayor gets convinced too. That's convenient, as he gets rid of the ban on horse-drawn carriages in Riverdale. I wish it was clearly explained right away why I made that ban in the first place. Instead, he's a straw man to force the plot. Jeez, I hated that horse's voice. You don't want to have his voice be terrible when he's going to be talking as the entire premise of the plot. It's good of Sabrina to not simply brainwash the mayor into changing his mind, I suppose. But what she does instead is constantly freak him out with the talking horse. Sabrina's very lucky Jughead thought she was having a ventriloquist act, because clearly the horse wouldn't know to move his mouth and perfectly lip-sync with what Sabrina's saying. It was common sense for her to erase their memories of seeing her remind the horse that she gave him the ability to talk, which he really had no reason to remind him about because he already knew it. I'm not sure I can honestly say it was a good episode, because watching it means having to contend with a horrible voice for way too long. But the actual plot was intriguing and original enough. But I wish the mayor gave a reason for banning horse-drawn carriages, instead of the plot feeling forced. Maybe he's just tired of the city having to clean up after them?